Reed Brothers. Hey, listen, this is DuWayne Reed here, and today I'm all alone. Poor DuWayne. So, I got no brothers with me, and I wants to do something. What I wants to do today is make some beer. So I got this kit from Northern Brew Supply, alright, Northern Brewer, and it is the Zoomin' Pale Ale 20-minute boil kit for making 5 gallons of beer. And we are going to do that today. Now, I've got my electric brew kettle. It's got 10 liters of water in it, and I'm heating it up right now. I've got all my ingredients. I got lots of hops. This takes a lot of hops. It's a hoppy beer. I got malt extract, liquid malt extract, my dry malt extract, and I got my instructions. We're going to get this done today. We're going to make 5 gallons of beer right here, right now. Now, this kit has no grains. There's no grains involved in this at all. It is all just malt extracts, liquid and dry. So it's going to be an easy one. And you do it quick. This is 20 minutes. You only got to cook it for 20 minutes. Normal beers, you got to cook them for about an hour. And then it just takes longer. So this one's going to be quicker, and I'm going to have my beer sooner. So just bear with me. We got to get our water up to the right temperature, and then we're going to add all our ingredients, and then we got to let it cook for 20 minutes. All right? You just stay with me. We'll be right back. All right. While we're waiting for this water to get up to the right temperature, let's talk a little bit about equipment that I use. This is Wayne's setup right here. I've got my 8-gallon DigiBoil stainless steel electric brew pot. This thing is awesome. It does a great job. You can set the temperature on it to hold at a certain temperature, or just set it to go boil, which is what we got right now. Now, this thing is easy to clean and easy to maintain, all right? I highly recommend it. And being that my house is all on solar and runs off of batteries and solar panels, this is all free energy. So kudos to me, Green DuWayne, that's right. Also, once that's done, we're gonna get it into this Klarstein stainless steel fermenter. It holds 8 gallons also, but we're not going to have 8 gallons. We'll just have a little bit over 5 when we're done with this. Make sure that you got your handy dandy stirring spoon, because you got to stir it up. All right, stir that up while it's cooking. Another good thing to have that I like to use is a heat exchange plate. That had some stuff in it. Now what this does is hot liquid goes down one side and cold liquid goes down the other. And the heat is exchanged in this device so that we can cool down our beer so we can get it to a temperature where we can put yeast in it. If the beer is too hot, the yeast will die. And we don't want our yeast to die. We want our yeast to do the job it needs to do. And I also use this handy dandy fermentation bucket with a little electric motor on it. I use that to circulate my water, my cold water, through my plate chiller to get my beer temperature down from boiling to about 75, 80 degrees so I can throw the yeast in there. So that's just a quick rundown on some of the equipment that we'll be using today. And of course, if you're gonna make beer, you might as well drink beer. Not that I need to make beer to drink beer. I'm gonna drink beer because I like to drink beer, but I also like to make beer, and I like to make beer that I like to drink. And this is gonna be one of them. Of course, my go-to beer here in Texas, China Bock. Always, always, China Bock. All right, so now we got the water boiling, and we are supposed to add our ingredients. Now the instructions say turn off the heat and then add your liquid malt extract and your dry malt extract, and make sure you stir it up real good so it dissolves in there real good, because if you don't, all of them sugars is going to go to the bottom and stick to it and burn, and you don't want burnt beer. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to pour in, first we're going to pour in our gold malt extract. open that puppy up. Take off this lid. Turn off the burners. Burners off. All right. Now this stuff is really sticky. Sticky, sticky, sticky. Look at that. I'm gonna pour that in here. And I'm gonna stir. Real thick. And on a cold day like today, it comes out even slow. Now water hot. That steam is burning DuWayne's hand. Oh, but it smells delicious, let me tell you. I put this on some pancakes, and it would be delicious. All right. Got a little on my spoon, but that's okay. All right, so what we're gonna do now to get all of that sugar goodness out of there, I'm gonna turn it back up, just like this. And I'm gonna put some hot liquid from in here into here and shake it up. Fill it up, about a quarter of the way full. And when it's filled up, a quarter of the way full, that's good. Now listen, here's my little secret. Once you do that, you squeeze the little container as hard as you can before you put your lid on. And the reason being, when you shake it up, it swells up and creates pressure. I'll let the lid off, squeeze it, and shake it up. And we get all that liquid malt goodness dissolved in this water. And then we can pour it in here. Make sure we get all of that juicy goodness. It doesn't go to waste. The more sugars you got, the more alcohol in your beer you're gonna have. The higher the alcohol content. There you go. So we got the liquid malt in there. You gotta stir it up. Stir it up real good. All right, all right. Now, we got this dry malt extract, and we're gonna be adding in this sparkling amber dry malt extract. Now this stuff is tricky. As soon as you expose this to any of the steam, this stuff sucks it up. Like a hooker in the Philippines. So you got to be careful. And if you don't stir it good, it makes big old clumps of malted malt balls, and you don't want that in your beer. So we're gonna stir it up, get it stirring, and this is very powdery. So we're gonna pour it up here, and stir, stir, stir. Oh, and you can see it collecting on the edge of the bag right there from the steam. All right, there you go. You can see that. Now it's collecting on that bag. And even stuck to my spoon. There's a malted milk ball right there on it. I'm telling you. And I'll be stirring this up for a little while. And once that's done, I'm going to turn the heat back on. I'm going to get it to boiling. And then we're going to start adding the hops. It says this bag first. And then every 5 minutes, we're going to add a bag of hops. Every 5 minutes till the end of the boil. And we'll have all the hops in there. So we're going to turn it on. And we're going to get to boiling right now. Now at this point, we won't put the lid back on the brew pot, because if we do, it just boils up too fast and foams up too fast, and we can't get it under control, and it could boil over, and we don't want that. All right, now once we get it up to boiling, we'll be adding our hops. On the first round, we're gonna add these Summit hops. All right, that's our good bittering hop right there. And then 5 minutes later, we're gonna put a pack of Cascade hops, and then another packet of Cascade hops. These are for aroma, and at the end of the boil, we're going to put in these Centennial hops, again, for more aroma. Just makes a good beer. So you're mostly just looking at the back of my head, but that's okay. My brother Tommy says I look good from behind, and I'll just have to trust him. All right, now, with all of your equipment here, you got to make sure that it's all clean and sanitized. Now, my fermenter, I didn't clean it very good last time I used it, and it had a little bit of funk in it. And I know we got to have the funk. We got to have that funk, but in this instance, we don't want no funk. So I got it in there. I'm cleaning it real good with my Barkeeper's Friend. If you don't know about Barkeeper's Friend, you need the Barkeeper's Friend for all your stainless steel pots and pans. It just cleans it really, really good. And I highly recommend this. Now, cleaning the bugs out and all the germs and all the bacteria, I use Star Sand. Now, this got a lot of some crazy name acid and some phosphoric acid and some other stuff that we don't really care that whole much about. But you can clean your stuff with this, and then you rinse it out just a little bit, and you don't have to worry about cleaning all of this out, okay? This kills all the bugs. Now remember, stir, stir, stir till it starts boiling. And if you're smart, you take your glasses off because they fog up. All right, so let's talk a little bit about beer. Now, I know that the way that I'm making beer right now is probably going to get thumbs down. And a lot of these snooty beer makers are going to be thumbing their nose at what I'm doing. Not all of them, but some of them. But let me tell you, you can go out there and you make your all-grain beers and do your all-grain mashing and your all this. And yeah, you can do some stuff with some beers if you really want to get into all of that. But I don't. I'm really kind of lazy, to tell you the truth. With this kit, it's easy. You can get a kit that might have a little bag of grains that you seep in there, like a bag of tea, and then you got stuff like this, where it's just all liquid and dry extract, whatever, and it's easy to make up. And let me tell you, it's not the best, most delicious beer in the whole wide world, but it's on the cheap. Let me tell you, you can make 5 gallons of beer for about $30. Now think about that. 5 gallons, that's 53 beers for about $30 with this kit right here. That comes out to a lot of beer for a lot of less money. And it is okay. It's not my favorite, but it's tasty. It's drinkable, it's palatable, and I enjoy it. My friends come over, my brothers like it. Everybody seems to think it's okay. It's not the favorite. It's not what I would go out and buy, but I only drink 2 kinds of beer. DuWayne drinks his beer and free beer. Can't say nothing else about that. More stirring. All right. So the beer is boiling right now. We're gonna throw in our first run of hops right here, the Summit hop. Throw it in, and then we're gonna stir it. Oh, it smells wonderful. Dump it on in there. Give it a good stir. Always stirring. Give it a good stir. And let it go. In 5 minutes, we'll come back and we'll start adding the next round of hops. Let me show you this. Now, after this beer is done fermenting and all the yeast has done all the stuff that all the yeast is going to do to make some alcohol in beer, and all the hops have done everything they needed to give it the flavor, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my handy dandy little Cornelius keg right here. Holds 5 gallons of beer. I hook my CO2 up to one side and I hook my tap to the other side, and what happens is I just force carbonate my beer with some CO2 so that I don't have to worry about putting them in little bottles and flip tops and put lids on them and squeeze them on there and then wait for the stuff to prime up and carbonate and be ready to drink. I can put it in my keg I can force the carbonation, and within 3 days, I got beer to drink. And it's nice, and it's carbonated, and it's foamy. That's the way DuWayne does it. All right. It's been 5 minutes. So now we're going to take our next set of hops. It's the Cascade hops. We're going to open it up. We're going to drop it in, and we're going to let it boil. I always like to smell it. I think it smells wonderful. And stir. Now, while I'm waiting for all of this to go on, and all this boiling to be done, I have taken my plate chiller. I got it down there in some water, and I have routed my tubing through it so that I can run the pump. And I've got water in here, and in the water, I got some of my star sand. So it is disinfecting all of my gear while I'm waiting. And all I gotta do is just let that run and let that circulate and do all its eating. And it's cleaning itself out so that there's no nasties in there when I run my beer through it, and my beer won't go nasty. Okay. We got all of our beer out of here, and it's into here, and we are still about a half gallon shy of where we need to be on our water. So I'm gonna fill this up, and then we're gonna go on inside, and we will pitch our yeast, and we'll put it on airlock, and then we'll wait for the yeast to start doing what yeast does, which is eat the sugar molecules, and they will burp out carbon dioxide, and they will shit out alcohol, and that's how we make our beer. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. This is the beer, the wort. Now I'm going to pitch some yeast. A little bit, not too much. And I'm gonna put the lid back on. I'm gonna brace it down, put the clamps on. I'm gonna take this bung stopper out, because that's called a bung hole, and that's a bung stopper. I'm gonna put in this bung thingy with a airlock on it. And what this does is it lets excess CO2 out and keeps the badness from going in. And we'll come back again at another time. All right, here we go. Now we're gonna keep this area at a constant temperature of right around 70, 75 degrees. Keep it nice and warm, keep our yeast happy, right? But we're gonna keep it happy, and it'll make some alcohol for us and turn it into beer, and then we will carbonate it and we will drink it, and it will be delicious, and I, DuWayne Reed, will be happy. All right, stick with me. But for now, I'm out.
Brothers.